looks back at 10, 5, just off the mark. Good night, Doctor. Comes up for it, makes it, fouls.
Being with him and watching him, you want to do better.
It was always about the kids.
The #1 advocate for our students at Hazlet Public Schools.
He's just an all-around classy good guy.
He just knows that athletics is supposed to be part of the classroom.
He is here for the student athlete.
He takes the time to make sure all sports get their due.
You know, Jamie's a great role model for younger coaches.
He serves as a role model for all of us. And
he is Hazlet.
And his handprint, if you will, is very much on all of our school facilities.
Well, because I think he's funny, because sometimes he makes me laugh.
I was hired into Hazlet here in 1974, and I was on the softball team that one of the school board members, John Dodge, had, and we played the teachers. And Jamie was obviously on the teacher's side, and I was in center field and misjudged the ball and hit me right in the head. And I fell down, kind of embarrassed, and Jamie was one of the people that came out to see if I was all right.
Mine's been contained within Jamie's career. I came Hazlet in 1970, he came in, I believe it was 67, taught my 33 years, retired, and he was still here. So
we started playing basketball, and he would constantly tell me to get out of his lane and stay out of the way, and you know, endeared himself to me right away.
1967, I was driving a Pontiac Tempest. It was a black car with one white door. It had 4 cylinders, 4 gears forward, and 4 tires. That was about all. Ernie Becker asked me to come coach, and I came here. I was going to teach in Flint, and it didn't work out. I mean, I don't think Cindy was ready for Flint. We went to a movie theater and it didn't shut the lights off, and I think that bothered her a little bit. So
he had a 1967 Dodge Charger muscle car type thing with a baby seat in the back.
Yeah, it was the early 70s, and we partied a lot together, and we were tight. And I think middle school teachers have a tendency to be like their kids, kind of wild and crazy. And we had an awful lot of fun, and we cared about our kids, and we cared about each other.
Ernie Becker was the athletic director when I came here. In our very first football game, we're going to line up ready to play, and he'd forgot to hire officials. And I mean, this man was in panic. I mean, it was 6 o'clock on Friday night, we had no officials. And so we started calling around to find officials. We got officials for that game, and I thought, man, I never want to do that guy's job. I thought, man, I never want to do that guy's job. Never want to do that guy's, never want to do that guy's, never want to do that guy's job.
Coaching has to be good teaching, because to be a good coach, you have to be a good teacher. And Jamie, we could see those qualities in Jamie.
Well, when I first met Jamie, I clearly saw an educator and I saw a coach.
When he became athletic director, he asked me to write him a letter, you know, a letter of recommendation, and I figured that'd kill the deal right there. But I wrote it, and I can still remember what I said. I said that he was a guy who'd been a winner and a loser. He'd had great success in sports, and he'd had great disappointments. He'd seen both ends of it, and I thought that was a quality an athletic director should have.
Well, I'm not going to take credit for this statement. Bill Rumsey made this statement when Jamie was applying for the job. Bill wrote him a letter of recommendation, and one of the great lines that Bill put in there ran something like, Jamie's the person that you want working with your child in the good times, and he's really the person you want working with your child in the bad times.
And that's what you have to understand about Jamie Gent. He's for kids all the time. He thinks about them, he wants to know what's best for them, and that's what makes Jamie the wonderful man he is.
Over the years, when talking with Jamie, we very rarely talked about the football game, or the wrestling meet, or the volleyball game. It always boiled down to kids, And that's what Jamie always wanted to talk about. It was kids and their success.
You know, we always talk about the big game. I mean, well, to me, they're all big games. I mean, I watched 2 great games last night. Actually, 3 or 4. I watched the volleyball team play, and our volleyball team didn't win last night, but the kids were working. I watched the coaches work with the kids. I watched the kids learn how to play, but I went out and watched the freshman football team and the JV football team play. To those kids, that was the big game, because they're playing it right now. They're doing it right now. This hype we get, and we all do it, and everybody does it, the big game we're going to go play. Hey, it doesn't matter whether you're playing the game in the Silverdome or at Ford Field or in Jenison or in Breslin or at Langsburg High School or at Hazlitt High School. It's still the game. It's still the game they're playing. And they play it because they love to play the game.
He loved math, and he really helped kids to love math too. I mean, I don't think math was necessarily easy for him as a student, so I think that was what made it more fun for us, because he actually showed us that you didn't have to be good at math to love math, and so he made math fun for us.
All my friends were all happy they had my dad for teacher, because he really listened to them and and knew what they were doing and stuff.
You know all these people. Not so much you know all these people know you as you grow up, which I will say puts some of the kibosh on your high school years.
Great kids. I mean, Gail Hicks was one of my students. And I mean, the thing, she was literally running the middle school as a 7th grade student, you know, Gail. The clipboard, the whole thing, she was making it all happen. And for these kids, and it made it better.
You could always go to Jamie. If you had questions, if you needed some advice, he was always there to help you with that piece too. So he was really well-rounded. He could work with you on all levels.
He draws respect from everybody else. I mean, I look like him, obviously, which is good and bad, but the good part is, I'll go somewhere and do a job for somebody like that, and I say, I'm, Gent, and they're like, oh, Jamie, and you can see the smile on her face and stuff like that, so.
I don't know, I can't imagine him retiring and doing nothing. I don't see him in that role. I see him as staying busy always. I've watched him walk around the lake, and it's not a pretty sight. He's a gimpy old guy like the rest of us now, but I can't imagine him not working with kids.
I just can't picture him doing anything else. I really can't.
Yeah, I have no idea what he would do. I mean, it has to be something involved with kids, that's all I know. I mean, it wouldn't be daycare.
Yeah, I don't know what else he'd do. I can't even fathom it.
So if he does retire, I hope for Cindy's sake, he finds a hobby. Now I know he likes woodworking.
You could give Mr. Gent pieces of wood and he would turn them into beautiful things. He is quite talented along those lines too.
I don't anticipate that he'll ever totally retire. I think that Jamie has a love of athletics, but more importantly has a love for doing the right things for students.
It's always been a part of me. I didn't realize that until I started doing this stuff and realizing just how much this has been me. I mean, every August I've been busy for the last 42 years doing something with sports.
Usually all the time we play chase and I always win because I'm so fast.
Well, he's always going to be involved in schools. He's going to volunteer. Jamie, plus he's going to be a good grandpa.
Well, I like the grandpa that lives in this house. Yeah. His name's Grandpa Jamie, and I like him because I think he's funny.
Cindy and I made an arrangement that when I went back into this, that we'd eat lunch together every day, because there's days that I never see her. I get up in the morning at 6 to go swimming. I come home at 9 or 10 after a basketball game and she's gone to bed, especially when she's working for the township getting ready for an election. She's gone. So we always do lunch together. Sometimes it's 10 minutes, sometimes an hour, sometimes lunch is 4 o'clock in the afternoon, but we always try to see each other every day if we can.
And he's going to be there. So he's also going to be involved in schools. You're not going to see Jamie Gent just slide away into the sunset.
Hello everyone at the Inspiration Dinner. This is Katie from California. I just want to congratulate my dad on another award. Congratulations, you've done a great job and you're a great inspiration. I love you and I hope to see you soon.
My dad always said it's better to be wise than smart. I think that's because he was talking to me. But wisdom is a great thing to have, because you can learn a lot about and know how to deal with situations. How do I deal with this situation? We talked about anger the other day, about a kid that was angry the other day, you know, how he dealt with it. Becoming wise and learning how to deal with that anger and how to deal with it makes you a better person, makes you a stronger individual, makes you more helpful for society. That's what we're supposed to do, is produce people that are good with society.